What is going on, everyone? Welcome to All Things Cavs. I am your host, Joe Schneider, along with the ageless wonder, who is Kevin Sleds. Kevin, what is going on, man?
Not too much. How you doing, Joey? I appreciate the ageless wonder comment.
You're going to get it every week. That's going to be the thing.
All right, works for me.
How am I doing? Well, I was doing great until last night. And the Cavs lost a rough one in double overtime. It's going to happen. Bulls been playing better since the All-Star break. They're playing even pretty well before the All-Star break. And you got to take the good with the bad, because who in the world didn't miss that amazing half-court heave by the hero Max Strus to win the game at the buzzer against the Dallas Mavericks?
It's funny. I was covering a high school game that night, and I got home just in time, turned the TV on to see that shot. So I just made it in time.
If you only watched one part of the game, that's the one that you wanted to see.
Yep. I would have been pissed if I missed that live.
I still, and the funny thing is that he hit 4 threes. I watched that game wire to wire. He hit 4 threes in I think 60 something seconds, and he was hot. He was hot that entire fourth quarter. And when he put that shot up, when I saw it left Max Strus's hands, in my head I said, "This has a shot." It wasn't, and you know what I mean. There's times where they throw it up and you're like, "Okay, game's over," and you walk away. But he put that up, and in my head I go, "This might go in." And when it went in, it was just validation.
As hot as he was, I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, he was feeling it.
I know. Oh, man. And the people at Cleveland showed him the love that we have for the Cavs, because that place I thought the building was going to come down. Rocket Mortgage was rocketing.
I think my favorite video was the shot behind the Cavs bench of Mammoth DeJuan Jones jumping through the air.
I think mine was cheap seats, and because you could see the entire crowd, just the entire Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse crowd just going absolutely nuts. But that was a heck of a win against a really good team, a team that actually that really got better, as we talked about after the trade deadline. So I don't think that we need to spend a lot of time on a lot of different topics today, Kevin. There's things that are floating around the internet. We can just kind of start plucking stuff out from there. And I think one of the things that I'm really tired of hearing is something wrong with Darius Garland, or is Darius Garland returning to form? I'm getting very frustrated with this question. Darius Garland has gotten punched in the face more times than I've seen any basketball player, with the exception of maybe Steve Nash. Steve Nash used to get hit a lot too. Ricky Rubio took a few shots as well, but people just seem to swipe at Darius Garland's face like crazy, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see. He broke his jaw, which is not an easy. His jaw was wired shut. It's not an easy thing to come back from. And yet, he comes back, and is he playing his best basketball? No. I'm the first person to admit that. But have we seen him starting to return to the DG that we know? Yes. What I think what's more important to understand is the team is not the same as when Darius left. The team has gotten better. The role players have stepped up. Darius Garland does not need to score 25 or 30 a night. Donovan Mitchell doesn't need to score 25 or 30 a night. So people need to relax, understand there's only one basketball, and that, they're not, they're kind of trying to get it figured out after the All-Star break. And me and you said that there's a chance that might happen. But stop with the DG comments. Let it play out. We got a really good team. He's a 20, he's what, 23, 24, 23, I think.
23.
23-year-old all-star who came back after a broken jaw, and you want him to be, I don't know, better than he was than before. So Darius Garland's playing great. He's doing fine, and I'm sure he and I know everyone's sick of hearing about it. I know Don's sick of hearing about it. He even said, he basically told everyone to
Yeah, he made he made his point about Darius Garland and telling people to back off.
Yeah. And I think that us in the media are, whether we're writing about it or talking about it, I think that it's one of those things that we're sick of hearing about as well. Because, everyone can sit at home and say, oh, he doesn't look like he used to. Well, take a hit, break your jaw, and let me know how long it takes you to come back, to being normal as well. So
right.
That's a frustration topic on my part. I want to ask you a question though, Kevin.
Shoot.
Evan Mobley. How you feeling about him now? Especially lately.
Last couple of games, I mean, especially last night, he had a really good game. Despite the huge rebounding disadvantage, he had, I think, 13. I'd still like to see him be more aggressive at times. I know there were a couple plays I saw last night and some highlights I seen of the game where, he missed shots around the rim where you'd like him to kind of go up and dunk that strong. He was maybe finessing it a little bit. So I'd like to see him get a little bit stronger around the rim. But let me ask you, do you think playing with Donovan Mitchell kind of impedes his progress a bit? I've heard that mentioned.
I do not. I think that we're seeing Evan Mobley slowly evolve. And the way that I kind of want to, I don't know, I don't know how I want to word this. I think that everyone was expecting Evan Mobley to go from a rookie to a superstar in, 1 or 2 years. And I think that the way the Cavs and the way Evan are going about it is, okay, he's putting on muscle, but he's putting it on the right way. That was made very clear before the season even started, that he was, that he's adding weight, but he's adding it the right way. I think he gained 7 pounds of muscle from the last season to the beginning of this year. Now, I don't know how much he's put on this season thus far, or how much he's going to be able to put on in the offseason. But you can see he's more comfortable taking threes. You can see that, now, I mean, he also was injured, so, he's coming back and getting the swing as well. You can see he's much more comfortable taking shots. His court vision seems to be a lot better. He still does need to be more aggressive. I agree with that, but I think that is going to come still with the more mass you have, the more aggressive you're going to be. Andre Drummond has no problem being aggressive, as he had 26 rebounds last night. But he's also able to push. That was last night's game scared me in the sense of it reminded me very much of the Knicks series from last season, and that can't happen. And hopefully they do address that. But getting back to Evan Mobley, I think it's going to be a slower process than people anticipated. But I think that in the end, Evan Mobley is going to be a extremely dominant player in the NBA and a perennial all-star. And you can't forget he's still only 21 years old. So
yeah, I think
it's kind of an Okoro situation. People are like, oh God, Okoro's finally doing something. What's he, like 28? No, he's 23 years old. He's only been he came out when he was 19. Like he's a lot of these guys are really young players. It's still gonna take them time.
Yeah, with Mobley too. I think once Mitchell moves on, whether it be next year if he doesn't sign an extension, they trade him, which I don't think will happen, or 3-4 years from now, I think this will be Mobley's team at some point once Mitchell moves on.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I feel like Donovan Mitchell is going to be a Cavalier for a very long time.
I do too. Now, I mean, barring a first round disaster again this year,
I think even with a first round disaster, I think that I don't know. And you know what? Sometimes me and Kevin we wing it, and sometimes we have
a little structure.
We have more structure, but this wasn't something that we were going to talk about. I just want to ask you this real quick.
Yep.
Do you feel like there is a situation where for Donovan Mitchell where a team can acquire him, would have the cap space, and is a good fit for him, and that Cleveland would get something back in return?
Well, the team you keep hearing about is the Lakers. The Lakers. What the hell do the Lakers have that we want?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And low first round picks and Reeves.
How are you gonna and how are you gonna pay? You got right. LeBron, you still got to sign. Who's gonna get a max contract? You got Anthony Davis, who's on a max. You paid all the players that you already got. They can't afford Donovan Mitchell.
Honestly, I think the only team that would make sense if it came to that, from an asset standpoint of what the Cavs could get back, would be Brooklyn.
I mean, but maybe. I mean, you're basically the only thing that Brooklyn can offer you is Mikal Bridges, and I don't even know if I'd entertain that. I would entertain that if it's last year of the deal, maybe. But I'm hoping Donovan signs long term in Cleveland because they're a very good team with him on the court, and they made the moves. Derek said, "What was that? That Derek said?"
He said, "I've heard that Donovan doesn't like Cleveland." Little sarcasm from what we're hearing on Twitter from pretty much everybody outside of Cleveland.
Everyone outside of Cleveland that said Donovan doesn't like Cleveland. So Cleveland against the world.
You have anonymous NBA executives saying he's gone. He's no way he stays. But yeah, I mean, Cleveland gives them the best chance to win long term with the pieces they have, the young pieces they have. And they obviously they can pay him the most money with the max contract as well. So, I mean, there's really no reason for him to leave. And I know a lot of people bash Kobe Altman, but I have faith that he'll continue to add on to what they need going forward to build a championship team around Mitchell and Mobley and Garland.
We still haven't even seen Ty Jerome yet.
No, I don't think we're going to this year.
No, I don't either. But I like Ty. I like Ty a lot. So one of the things that I think we got to talk about is everyone needs to relax. Don't hit the panic button. They lost a couple of games. It's very hard to keep going like they were up until the All-Star break. It was 18-20, was it?
Yeah.
So, All-Star break happened. Everyone got a little bit of rest. They got a little bit of a tough schedule coming up, but I'm sure they're going to, clean the cobwebs out. They lost. They're 3-5 or 2-5 in their last 5 since the All-Star break. Let's not get crazy. We're still like 3.5 or 4 games up in the for the 3 seed, and I believe we're still number 1, or we're still the 2 seed. So
yeah, we're a half game up on Milwaukee for the 2, and 3.5, and then 3.5 up on New York.
Yeah, New York's hurting too. So the Cavs will come back around. I don't think we need to push the panic button. Everyone take a deep breath, a little bit of woosah, relax. This is a very good team, and they're gonna get it, straightened out. Like you said, when you jinxed the team, before the All-Star break, you said, there's going to be teams that they should beat that they lose to, or that they're going to lose to, and that's just, you're going to go through those ebbs and flows, and peaks and valleys, whatever you want to call them, of the NBA season. There's going to be, sometimes you're just not going to pick up the wins that you should, and luckily it's an 82 game season, and they went on a nice long roll there. 18 out of 20 they won, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them go on another run. Maybe not in the too far future. Maybe they win 9 to 10 or 8 to 10 or something like that, and pushes them right back up, and higher into the second seed, or pushes them further away for the third seed, whatever it may be. I think that they're right there. It's going to happen. You just got to let it happen.
And with that being said, let's not see any more games like last night.
But if they would have won, it would have been like, between after the Strus game and then they win a double overtime game. You're looking at things all different then.
Yeah, well, they had it won. They all admitted they gave the game away. They should have won it. They shouldn't have went to overtime. Shouldn't have went to double overtime.
But they pull that out last night, and it's a complete different conversation we're having today. Winning 3 of their last 5 as opposed to 2 of their last 5 is a lot different conversation. And I think that's why people gotta relax a little bit and not get so crazy with the with our next topic, which is actually a great segue into, does JB Bickerstaff deserve a lot of the blame for what's for the team not playing up to the standards of the vocal minority? Let's call it that.
The one thing I have an issue with is Sam Merrill. Yeah, no, I get JB's trying to cut the rotation. He's trying to figure out who he's going to have in his playoff rotation. But he's come out and said Sam Merrill's earned her spot, and he played 6 minutes against Dallas. And how do you not play him in a game last night that goes to double overtime?
You hear that?
Yeah,
it's crickets, because I don't have the answer. I wanted to give you a little bit of time there to see if crickets could play. No, I 100% agree with you. I do not know why Sam Merrill isn't playing. Now, listen, I'm not a basketball coach. We actually, that's a lie. I am a basketball coach, but not a professional basketball coach. We only watch and what we see on TV, and what we see in Sam Merrill is a kid who is a flamethrower. He can get hot at any moment. He's a shorter version of Kyle Korver. He is all over the place. He doesn't just give you threes, but he rebounds. He can get you assists. He gets to the rim. Sam Merrill definitely has earned a place on this roster and in the hearts of Cavs fans. Because he gets. I'll open up Twitter after a Cavs game, and Sam Merrill doesn't play. Sam Merrill either had a great game or doesn't play if he is trending when the Cavs are trending as well. So if you don't watch the game and you go on Twitter and the Cavaliers are trending and so is Sam Merrill, you could take this to the bank. You can either be sure that he lit it up or he didn't play. And last night it was because he didn't play. And I agree with you. He spaces the floor. He's going to be someone who's going to force the other team to have to put someone that could guard him. You're not going to have 2 bigs. They may have, they would have taken someone out and to put on Merrill, and that would have completely changed the game. But while I agree with you there, I don't think JB deserves a lot of the blame, because I think he was still catching a lot of flack when they won 18-20. So if you're going to blame him for them losing 2 out of 5, you got to praise him for them winning 18. I'm hearing music.
It's my phone, sorry.
Oh, okay. That was Kevin's phone vibrating. If you're gonna blame him for the team going 2 for 5 out of the All-Star break, that where was all the praise for him for going 18-20 before the All-Star break? You can't have
Right.
it both ways. You can't say, oh, it's the players before the break and then say, oh, it's the coaching after the break. So yes, I think the not playing Merrill is questionable. And I'll even go one further and say there were a couple of times during the game where I was questioning the lineup that was in, even with Merrill out. You just think to yourself, why is this rotation not in? So obviously there's that, but man, I mean, the guy's been a phenomenal coach for the past 2 years. You can't you can't give him all the flack, all the blame, and not put it on some of the players or just like I said, the flow of the game. So no, I think that you could question JB's lack of using Sam Merrill and maybe some of his rotations, but you cannot hate on JB the way people are hating on JB every freaking time the Cavs lose a game. It's JB's got to go. Who are you going to bring in? Let me ask you that. Name me a coach right now that you would bring in. Who would
John
make sense?
Beeline.
Jesus.
No, there was the report from Brian Windhurst that before they went on this run when I think they were 15-13 or 14-12 that he was on the hot seat, and then obviously the streak they went on quieted that. But yeah, I mean you're 100% right. When the Cavs win, it's a lot of crickets. There's some Cavs fans praising them, but as soon as they lose one game, it's oh my god, I knew it's going to be just like last year. They need to fire JB. Just complete negativity across the board on Twitter from Cavs Twitter. It gets exhausting. I try to ignore it, but
it gets extremely exhausting. You know who else they could bring in? David Blatt.
Yeah, there we go.
The answer is no one. And I think I think just a quick little hero shout out. I mean, come on. We touched on it a little bit, but you got to give Max Strus his flowers.
Yeah,
just absolute hero ball at the end of that Dallas game, and that was the most exciting, probably game of the year, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say so, and I missed it, of course.
You watched the important part.
Yeah, I got the important part. Yeah, he's a very streaky shooter, but when he's on, he's on, and he was on last night. Not last night, 2 nights ago.
Well, I mean, and it wasn't just the points. He had big time blocks.
Yeah.
Or a big time block. I don't know if he had one or a couple, but he had some rebounds, assists. He was doing Max Strus things that we saw him do in the beginning of the year, and we're starting to see him do more now as well. So Max, that was a heck of a shot, but just a heck of a game as well.
That's funny too, because you go back to the game in Dallas when they won at the end, and who was it that blocked Seth Curry's shot? Max Strus.
JJ Redick. All the stuff going on with JJ Redick now, that's just gonna be my answer for everything. That's who should coach the Cavs, JJ Redick.
Right.
Oh man, I love JJ Redick, by the way.
Yeah, he's funny.
But no, I think people got to relax. We got a fairly tough schedule coming up here in the next few weeks, And we will be with you every step of the way to talk about it each and every week. Every Thursday, as close to 8 o'clock as we possibly can be.
Yeah, we try to start at 8.
I got. If we don't, you can be 100% certain it is my fault. But Kevin, it was fun. Another good week.
As always.
The Cavs are, ebb and flow, Kevin. Ebb and flow. They'll get back on track, just like they always seem to. And I'm sure we'll be talking next week about how great the Cavs are and how many wins they picked up. So until next time, I'm Joe. That's Kevin, and this is All Things Cavaliers.
Good night, everybody.